Hi guys, and welcome to another one of our hashtag Ditch the Clips series. Today I wanted to build on where we had spoken a little bit about emotional literacy with our children using children's literature. So we had talked about giving kids the ability to label and identify emotions using children's lit in a safe kind of capacity. So I wanted to give you just a few more ideas, a few more tools, if you will, that you can use in your classroom. So one of the tools that I use frequently in my classroom is an emotions chart. And I like to have this kind of cartoonish one just because it provides a safe place to talk about some of those more negative emotions. So when you see a cartoonish angry face, it's not as intimidating for those children who maybe don't have as much experience dealing in a positive way with negative emotions. So I like to kind of pull these out first until they can get really good at kind of labeling those. We talk about what they look like. So for angry, for example, we talk about those eyebrows being down, we talk about the downturned mouth, maybe your face gets flushed and they actually have that on there. So we really talk about those physical features. After they get real proficient and real fluent with those kind of identifications with that cartoonish face, I then go to my trusty handy dandy trusty cards here, and all these are magazine pictures I cut out and laminated onto paper. And I usually introduce this either whole group or with about half my class, really depending on developmentally where they are and how fluent they are with emotional needs. And we talk about how the people in the picture feel and why they may feel that way. And so, for example, with these, we'll say, hey, how do they look? And a lot of kids will say, oh, they're happy or they're excited. And then I go, great, how do you know they feel that way? What about them tells me that? Oh, they're smiling, their cheeks are big, you know, their eyes are kind of squinty because they're smiling. So we kind of look at those features. After they get proficient with that and they're real fluent with describing that, then I move on to the next step and I say, what do you think made them feel that way? And again, we want them to start to do that perspective taking to develop empathy. So perspectively, hey, why are these girls happy? What do you think? And as the kids get older, they may have more experience with things like birthday parties and slumber parties. So you might hear, hey, it looks like a slumber party, or hey, it looks like a birthday party, or hey, they just finished something yummy. Maybe it was ice cream if it was a slumber party. So those kind of things would be expected with a picture like this. And those are all great reasons for those girls to be happy. In my opinion, ice cream makes me happy too. So you really want to start to develop those connections. Then at the same time, you're building some of those situational and context clues situations so that our kiddos can get better at reading context clues even for some of the more academic kind of heavy skills. So this hits two birds with one stone there, and I know as teachers we're usually short on time. So we tend to think, oh, I can't fit in that emotional literacy piece. Here you go. You can hit both of those context clues as far as academics goes, but also context clues for reading and understanding how others are feeling. So you really are incorporating both at the same time. So that's just two really simple pieces that I use in my classroom quite frequently with my littles. And when I say littles and I give you these age groups, it definitely doesn't mean that, hey, it's only for kinders, hey, it's only for threes. I give you guys kind of ranges so that you know kind of ballpark typically where you would see these kind of skills. But I always want you to remember to take a step back and look developmentally on what skills your kids have mastered, because that's more important than the actual chronological age of your child that you're dealing with, whether it's your own child or your classroom. So developmentally, if they've mastered the naming of feelings and emotions, that's great, you can move on. I know my 2.5-year-old's really good with naming some of those more secondary emotions such as frustration. So we're really moving on to that more empathetic piece with her, which is kind of abnormal for a 2.5-year-old. You know, most of them are still learning to name and describe their own feelings. So it's a little harder for them to move on. And just because they can't necessarily name all of their own doesn't mean you shouldn't expose them to asking, you know, hey, how does your neighbor feel? How does your friend feel? How does mommy feel? How does your teacher feel? Definitely still plant those seeds, still ask them those questions, and still describe those emotions within yourself as well. So when I, as a teacher or a mama, am feeling upset or frustrated, I describe that, you know, and I say, I'm frustrated because I spilt my coffee, and I really describe how and why I'm feeling that way. And I really give that external dialogue for them as far as, you know, my face is going like this, and my hands are going like this, and I really talk them through that emotion. That's a really important piece, and you'll hear me talk a lot about that, giving them that external dialogue so they can then start to form that internal dialogue. And also, again, helps with taking perspective. So all these skills are very interrelated. I don't want you to feel like you have to teach them one at a time, but I would definitely focus on one skill more than another. and kind of build upon it, but definitely laying those seeds for those future skills as well. So I look forward to hearing a little bit more about how you guys do emotions in your classroom setting or even in your home. Definitely hashtag me at Ditch the Clips, and you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter at Immersed Learning. I love having an open dialogue with everybody about things, all things education, so feel free to message me anytime. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I look forward to meeting with you guys again soon. Thanks.